Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Web3 Pulse with the Crypto Evangelist. And I'm very excited to be here. Today, we have a special episode celebrating one of the biggest events that has happened in the Web3 space. And we have the Crypto Evangelists Day. We are going to talk a lot about Web3, what is happening. Bitcoin Pizza Day is very huge, and many people have been talking about the Bitcoin Pizza Day. And today we are going to explore the entire ecosystem, what is happening in crypto, and we're going to talk about Web3 and have an exciting day today. I'm sure that many people have been hearing about Bitcoin Pizza Day and they don't really know what it is about. I'm going to explain what it is about, and hopefully we have a very nice day. And this today also couples with a very interesting thing that has happened in the crypto space recently. We've seen the rise of Bitcoin hitting new milestones, with the price of Bitcoin currently trading around 114,000. And before I go into the details, I actually have my pizza here. You can actually see my pizza. Pizza is live here. So we're going to eat this pizza together. And I'm sure that some of you would know how to like join us in terms of eating pizza. We all know that the cryptocurrency space, there's a lot of things happening. And I hope we're going to enjoy today's show together and see what's happening in the crypto space. So let's get into it. Today, there are a lot of development that has happened in the market. And we all know that the biggest development is the Bitcoin Pizza Day development, right? And going to look at our web pulse news as we normally do. And the first thing is today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. So happy Bitcoin Pizza Day, which is very, very important. And one of the things that has made Bitcoin Pizza Day a huge thing in the crypto space is that many of us use this day to recognize the person that spent about $10,000 buying pizza. And his name is Laszlo. Laszlo is the guy that spent about $10,000 buying pizza, and we celebrate Laszlo every year. And today makes it 15 years of Bitcoin Pizza Day, which is impressive when you think of it. And that makes me realize that the crypto the crypto ecosystem is quite old though. We're already getting old in this crypto space. I joined crypto about 8 years ago now. That's 2017. And it's very, very interesting how things have really gone when you think about it. Because when you think of Web3, you think of crypto, it's very, very impressive how the market has pumped. And about 10 when Laszlo bought Bitcoin that time, I don't think Bitcoin was worth much. But today now, look at the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is has hit astronomical levels, and that's why we are just like excited. You see many people celebrating. If you have been checking the crypto space today, you would see that there's a lot of celebration in the crypto space with many people talking about the pizza day, many people saying that okay, this is what has happened. There is lot of people speaking. We have heard from CZ, we have heard from almost all the top dogs in the crypto space talking about Bitcoin Pizza Day. I'm going to like just share a bit of what has really happened during this period of time. So you can see that the Bitcoin Pizza Day is usually celebrated May around May 20, yeah, May 22. And it came from Laszlo, the guy in the picture. He had a very, very like you can see the pizza there. It's very, very funny because he actually bought two pizzas for $10,000. And what happened was that it was the early days of Bitcoin where most of the Bitcoin were sold. You wouldn't get Bitcoin in like exchanges. There were really no exchanges then. And Bitcoin was actually struggling to get like that the traction that it currently has now. And one of the conversation you can see this conversation happened on Bitcoin chat that many people used to use then to chat about Bitcoin. Even Satoshi usually used the platform to talk about Bitcoin. And he said he will pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizza. Like, he was asking whether they have two large ones that are left over. And at that time, that was May 18, 2010. Bitcoin had not even gotten any kind of adoption. Like, the adoption was very, very low at the time. And he was able to get someone that responded and told him that he's ready to pay, he's ready to accept 10,000 Bitcoins for for the pizza. And the rest is history. The next, about 2 days later, he sent the payment, and the payment went through, and he was able to get the pizza delivered to him. And every year we have the celebration. But according to Laszlo says that he does not regret spending $10,000 on Bitcoin. But me, I don't really believe that he does not regret it, because if you think of it, spending that amount, even though he never knew how much it would be in future, which no one knew, right? But him saying that he does not regret, personally, to me, is just more or less like a way of him just using that one to save face, because you are not going to spend that amount on pizza, especially when the coin was undervalued, and you will not regret after a while. You can see him and his family enjoying the lovely pizza, and it's it, it's very, very exciting, because I'm sure that every year, especially now that it has even become very popular, everybody in Web3 celebrates it. Even some people in finance, they celebrate the Bitcoin Pizza Day. So I'm sure that he's going to be having the regret. But in a recent interview, he said he doesn't have that regret on about it. But I really don't think so. I really think he's definitely going to be having some regrets about it, but he's not going to come out and say he's having regrets about it. So that's our first news for today, the Bitcoin Pizza Day. And obviously, this year's Bitcoin Pizza Day now becomes special because the price of Bitcoin has also pumped massively, right? And it's really, really crazy when you think about it, that the price of Bitcoin has also like pumped massively to that level. Because when you are looking at what has happened in the crypto ecosystem during this period, it's really, really like impressive. Even I myself am impressed, because the price of Bitcoin was just 70,000 a few weeks ago, and now the price of Bitcoin is around 110,000, which is crazy. And this latest pump has coincided with the Bitcoin Pizza Day, because the price of Bitcoin literally hits a new all-time high in the early hours of yesterday to this morning. And when you consider it, it's really, really like impressive when you really consider it, because I you are we are seeing history happening before our eyes. And there's a lot of excitement, obviously, in the Web3. People are I've been getting a lot of calls. Even my mom called me today. I don't even know how she even saw the news. She said Bitcoin has already pumped, and like, she was asking how are we going to celebrate, and I was like, there's really no much celebration beyond buying pizza, as today is Bitcoin Pizza Day, and I just I just bought my pizza. So it's we are going to definitely have like a lot of pump. We are going to have a lot of new developments that is going to happen in the crypto space. That's really why I'm super excited. It's not even because of today's Bitcoin Pizza Day or any day. But the reason why I'm really excited is that anytime there is bull run, there is always innovations in the crypto space. People bring out like VCs are willing to VCs are willing to spend money. We are able to see like more developments coming through, and there's usually a lot of like excitement in the ecosystem. The last time that we saw a massive bull run like this, we saw new developments coming up. And secondly, our second news that we're going to be looking at today is the news about Bitcoin's pump, right? Price of Bitcoin has definitely like risen and hit another all-time high of about 108,988. And there's a lot of like conversations about Bitcoin, a lot of people saying different predictions, lot of people talking about what they think can happen, like a lot of people saying their mind. And when you look at the news here, you can see that the price of Bitcoin hits about 109,000 according to CoinMarketCap, according to CoinMetrics, like any platform that you are using that tracks the numbers. And Bitcoin's new all-time high can be explained via different developments. We've seen Donald Trump have negotiation with China. He was actually in the Middle East last week where he met with Saudi Arabia. He signed a $600 billion deal with Saudi Arabia. He signed I think, a $300 billion deal with UAE, showing that there is like method to his madness. And as I always tell people, he's the president that I feel that is one of the best negotiators, even though he might not necessarily do it in a way that pleases a lot of people, but he gets the job done. And that's what the US citizens, I feel, voted for him for, because they believe that he's someone that can get the job done. And the price of Bitcoin has followed that development. You can see that Bitcoin has gone from 74,000 in April and is currently trading around 110,000 as at the last time I checked it on CoinMarketCap. And this shows that the crypto space is very, very crazy. Imagine Bitcoin spiking 25% within the space of a month. That's ridiculous. There's really no assets that you can buy that would do something similar within that time frame. And we are expecting more. Some people are even saying that Bitcoin will hit 200K. Some people are saying 250K. But one of the things that I've noticed with this price spike is that if you look at, I'm currently on CoinMarketCap now. I just want to just show something. You can see that the Bitcoin market dominance has risen to 63%. That's not necessarily good for the crypto market, because Bitcoin at 63% dominance, it's not the last time that we've seen this is very, very long time ago. Even about during the last bull run, Bitcoin actually had a market dominance of about 45%, showing that the crypto market money was spreading in the crypto market. What this bull run has shown is that many investors are taking their money from altcoins and putting all their money in Bitcoins, because that is the way market dominance works. When you have that kind of market dominance, it shows that people are taking their coins or their money, that's their stable coin, dollar, pounds, euro, and if you are from Africa, naira, they are buying Bitcoin and they are selling altcoins. That could also be the reason why this current bull run that we have seen with Bitcoin has not really impacted the general market. Fine, yeah, Ethereum has done about 40%, but if you ask many people that have been holding Ethereum for a long time, they'll tell you that Ethereum performance is not even impressive, because Ethereum was on 1,400, 1,500 for a long time. That I was even seeing memes online, people saying that if you bought Ethereum in 2018, 2019 at 1.4, you are still going to be having that. I even have a close friend of mine that currently holds Cardano. He bought Cardano at $2, and Cardano is still trading around, I think, just about $1. We're still going to definitely look into the market analysis and see what's happening. And we're also going to talk about the next news that we have, which also pertains to the current crypto space, like the current crypto ecosystem. And the news is more or less about whales are trying to accumulate BTC as exchange supply falls. The exchange supply of Bitcoin has dropped, and it's actually good news when you think about it, because it shows that people are not selling. That means this market spike might last longer, because if people are not selling their crypto, it means that there is development and we could see more bull run coming. Because when people are taking money from exchanges to their cold wallet, it means that they are storing their money, and that's usually the sign of bull run. But when people are taking their money from their wallets and they are putting into exchanges, it means that people are looking to sell their tokens. That is the way it tends to work in the crypto market. That's the way it tends to work. So you notice that there's more people taking their money from exchanges to their wallets, like their cold wallets, and it's showing that there's less panic in the market, there's a lot of excitement in the market, and many people are expecting that the price of Bitcoin could hit new milestones. And I will not be surprised if that happens, because we are seeing that movement of people looking at their Bitcoin and trying to hold long term. So the fact that we are seeing those moves of people going from exchanges, and they're actually like going taking their coins to from exchanges to their private wallet, it shows that crypto is doing well. I can see some comments already. Someone is asking on TikTok that what is the secret behind BTC's pump. I'm seeing Zion City, and there's really no secrets behind the pump. Bitcoin is largely what we call digital gold. That's what some people call Bitcoin. They call it the digital gold. And when you think of something that is called digital gold, you're looking at somewhere that you can hold value. So most times we tend to see that when the market is stable, we see investors tend to buy altcoins. But when there's uncertainty in the market, we tend to see investors putting their money in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is regulated, Bitcoin has adoption, Bitcoin's market cap is about 2 trillion. There are a lot of things about Bitcoin that shows good fundamentals for investors looking to hold a volatile asset like crypto. So currently, due to the fact that we have seen changes in Donald Trump's rhetoric with regards crypto, we have seen new people like jump into the crypto space. We are seeing more stability in the market. That's the reason why you can see that there is development. There is a lot of people that are holding crypto. There are a lot of people that are looking towards like buying crypto, and that's partly to like that's part of the reasons why we are seeing the market spiking, because that's one of the reasons why we are seeing the market spiking. So when we think of that, would we'll definitely know that the whales, they are accumulating BTC as exchange supply reduces. And I'll just like share the news so that everyone can see. So you can see that at its near all-time high, crypto exchange inflow collapses. So we are saying that crypto exchange inflow has reduced. Lots of people are removing their money from exchanges and putting in their wallets, and it's very, very impressive when you think about it, when you think about the fact that the crypto market is doing well. And obviously I still have my pizza here, which I'm going to open very soon. Or let me just open it so that everyone sees that there is a pizza in here, so you can see the pizza. It's live, so just to celebrate the Bitcoin Pizza Day. And we're going to move into the next part, which is one part that people tend to ask about, and that's Market Watch. Going to explore what's happening in the crypto space and see the way the market is moving. So if you look at what's happening in the market, you can see that in terms of trending coins, Bitcoin is obviously the number one trending coin. We have Ethereum, which is trading at about 2,661. We have SU. Uh, if we look at the price in the last 24 hours, we'd see that WorldCoin is pumping. I know some people might know what WorldCoin is. WorldCoin is the coin that is backed by this guy. I'm trying to remember his name. OpenAI guy. He's the one that backs WorldCoin, where people scan their iris to, and they're also the proponent of universal basic income. I know I've read a lot. We also have Hyperliquid doing very well. Hyperliquid is doing well. And also another another ecosystem that is doing okay when you think of it is also, we are seeing like some developments in terms of the market, and Hyperliquid is doing well. We're also seeing like growth from other ecosystems in the market. So we can see that The tokens Zcash is also not doing bad. Injective protocol is also doing okay in the market. And then we can click on Bitcoin and see, look at more about Bitcoin. We have um, the market cap is about 100. The current price is about 111,000, and Bitcoin's market cap is about 2.34 trillion. That's the fully diluted market cap, and the total supply is about 19.86 BTC. We also have the max supply, the circulating supply is also there, and one of the things that you can notice about Bitcoin too is the fact that the the price of Bitcoin has been doing quite fine in the past few weeks. Can look at the 1 year chart. Can also look at the 1 month chart. The 1 month chart is showing that Bitcoin is doing about 111K. And um, if you bought Bitcoin a year ago, you are going to be up 60%. And if you bought Bitcoin a month ago, you'll be up about 22%. So that's quite impressive when you think of the way the market has gone. And also, we also look at Ethereum, the leading altcoin. Ethereum is trading about 2,661K. And if we go deep into the analysis, there has been a decent pump of Ethereum in the past 1 month. And when you look at the 7 day chart is showing that the price of Ethereum is looking towards its next psychological barrier of about 2,700. If Ethereum is able to hit the 2,700 mark, we could see a spike in its value. So you see that Ethereum, the next psychological barrier is about 2,700. It's currently trading 2,662. So if the current market bull run continues, we might see Ethereum hitting 2,700. But if there is a retracement, then we might see that the next support level for Ethereum is about 2,600. That's what I'm expecting. And if the market drops further, we might see Ethereum settle at about 2,550 from what I can see in the chat. And then we go back and then we check for another coin to analyze, and that's going to be XRP. Somebody asked me on TikTok about XRP, and I'm sure that she was saying that she's holding XRP. She wanted to like get information about what she could do with her XRP, and I told her that XRP is a decent coin to hold. Obviously, many crypto maximalists, they don't really consider XRP as a true cryptocurrency because of the fact that it is highly centralized and it is controlled largely by Ripple, right? But XRP has a lot of potential in terms of settlements. They have a lot of partnership with banks. And in the last 7 days, the coin has not really done very well. You can see it's currently about it dipped about 1%, and in the past 1 month the overall growth is about 12.81%, which is, when you think of it, coins like XRP have more potential in terms of pumping than Bitcoin. But looking at the markets now, you can see that XRP has only pumped about 12.81%, why why Bitcoin pumped about 20 something percent within this time frame. And the general convection most times is that Bitcoin doesn't see huge spike. Like if Bitcoin pumps by 5%, altcoins will be pumping by maybe 20%. But the current crypto market has, like, I would say, has gone against the normal convention, because we are seeing Bitcoin having that effect and altcoins are not moving. And this goes back to what I said previously, that Bitcoin market dominance is not really good for the crypto space, because if Bitcoin is dominating 61% of crypto, then then it's not really good news. Because when you think about it, the the fact that other cryptocurrencies are losing money to Bitcoin it's not really healthy for the growth of crypto. It doesn't really bode well for the growth of crypto when you think about it. But it's just the way it is in the crypto space, and we just have to like accept that some of all these things happen, and just move on and see that the the ecosystem continues to like show us all those new developments when it comes to what's happening in the crypto market. So it's it's a normal thing that happens from time to time, and we tend to like see that happen in the crypto space. Obviously, the market will definitely like show good potentials coming soon, and we're expecting like more development. We're likely to see things like XRP ETF coming up. We're likely to see things like Ethereum. We're likely to see a whole lot of things happening in the crypto space in the coming weeks, thanks to this current bull run. And I'm not surprised that we are seeing something like this happening, because the market has shown signs in the past few months that we might be in for an extended bull run. We've really had those signs that we might be in for an extended bull run, but it's just manifesting. It's just manifesting now, and I'm not. I'm not surprised that we're having something like this happen in the crypto space. And that's our market watch for now. We are going to go to our token spotlights scene. But I feel that before I go to the token spotlight scene, it only makes sense for me to take one of these pizza out before we spotlight the token. Sorry for my awkward way of cutting pizza. Just have to eat one of the pizza and enjoy myself. Oh, that's the pizza. And then we can move to our token spotlight scene, where we are going to spotlight a token. Token spotlight is sponsored by FS Crypto News, and they're one of the top cryptocurrency platforms. You can read the latest news from FS Crypto News. They have price analysis. They have so many news that you need to know in your crypto journey. And it's one of the platforms that we recommend, because they've been operational since 2021, and they have a lot of like good track record in terms of covering news. And then we have our token spotlight for today. The token that we are going to be spotlighting today is one of the tokens that has made a lot of people money and continues to make people money. And obviously, since today is the Bitcoin Pizza Day, we are going to be spotlighting nothing else than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency. The white paper was written by Satoshi in 2008, and the token launched. Since then, Bitcoin has moved from strength to strength. Initially, it was used by scammers, dark web, but eventually, the concept of decentralization started to bear fruits, and we had intelligent people like Vitalik Buterin and his team, which included Dr. Gavin Wood, who is the founder of Polkadot, Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano. They all came together and they formed an ecosystem called Ethereum, which took the concept of Bitcoin, the decentralization part, to the next level. But without Bitcoin, there is no Ethereum. Without Bitcoin, there are no altcoins. And today it's a huge day. We are celebrating what has happened, which is the Bitcoin Pizza Day, and we are spotlighting Bitcoin as a result of that. And I hope we're going to like have more bull runs, and God's willing, we are going to have more Bitcoin Pizza Days to celebrate. So let's look at Bitcoin. The current price is around 110K. And you can see that Bitcoin dominance is about 54.15%. But when I checked now, it's about, I saw it's about 60%. So that's probably wrong. Sorry about that. But that's the Bitcoin price at the moment. We are seeing that Bitcoin market is showing a very, very healthy market dominance. We are seeing that the price has pumped in the last few days, and the market unsurprisingly, I believe that we might see more pumps in the coming days. And then let's go to the community sentiment for Bitcoin. Community sentiment for Bitcoin is very high. About 82% are bullish and 18% are bearish. And when you think about it, the high community sentiment, it's unsurprising. Even during bearish period, Bitcoin tends to have high community sentiment, even during bearish period. So I'm not really surprised that we are seeing high community sentiment on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin tends to have that, despite no matter the period that it is, it's always having like high community sentiment. And the fact that it's 82% shows that there's huge like market dominance, and there's a lot of sentiment towards what Bitcoin is doing, and a lot of adoptions are also coming in. This also leads us to one important indicator that I like using, which is the fear and greed index. If you look at the fear and greed index for Bitcoin, the current market is about 72, which is very, very greedy. And as I always say, the saying says, when people are greedy, be fearful, and when people are fearful, be greedy. But 72% is not crazy. There are some times in the market where the market is extremely greedy. The market is not yet extremely greedy because the bull run just started. Last month, we were lamenting that Bitcoin could hit 72K. A month later, we are saying Bitcoin could hit 200K. So that's crypto for you. It's either you buy a Lambo or you become homeless most times in crypto. That's the mindset that many traders have. Get rich or die trying. It's either you get rich or you die trying. So the fear and greed index is showing that Bitcoin has decent. There are a lot of people like they are holding Bitcoin. There's a lot of greed. A lot of people are believing that the price of Bitcoin could actually pump in the coming days. And unsurprisingly, Bitcoin has evolved from its early days. So we are going to see this sentiment move further to the right, because when you think of it, the Bitcoin ecosystem has gone beyond just payments, which Bitcoin was meant to be. The new dollar, a new form of payment that brings new innovation. Bitcoin ecosystem has developed into a vast ecosystem of tokens. We saw the rise of ordinals last year. I think so, last year we had Bitcoin ordinals. These are tokens that were built on top of the Bitcoin layer. We have platforms that have transformed things. Then we look at some of the top Bitcoin ecosystem tokens. We have Stacks. Stacks is one of the platforms that started building a layer two protocol on Bitcoin using the Bitcoin infrastructure. And Stacks, a lot of money has been poured into Stacks. Unsurprisingly, you can see that its market cap is very, very high, and it's the number one token on the Bitcoin ecosystem. We have Maker, the decentralized autonomous organization with its own strength there. And Bitcoin SV is a fork of Bitcoin. And when you talk about forks are like derivatives of original cryptocurrencies. The Ethereum we know currently is actually a fork from Ethereum Classic. That's why we have Ethereum Classic, we have Ethereum. So we have Bitcoin has lots of forks like Bitcoin SV. What's the name of the other one again? Litecoin is also a fork of Bitcoin. So those are tokens that are developed from Bitcoin. Some of them have larger block sizes. Some of them have different consensus mechanisms, but similar ideas to Bitcoin. And when you also look at other tokens that are in the Bitcoin ecosystem, we have Pendo Finance, we have Reserve Rights, and we have the meme token Dogs, which has a market cap of about 453 million, which is quite impressive. And it's also tradable on the Bitcoin ecosystem, and this is huge. We are saying that the Bitcoin ecosystem is beginning to develop more. But the reason why some people might be like, why has he not done crazy to that level, is that the crypto space still remains in its early stages, where people are more moved by what they can get than the developments in the space. So that's why you see Solana continues to be king. So as I said in my live yesterday, Solana wasn't developed to be the home of memes. Solana was developed to do very, very quick transactions. I remember when Solana started, and I was writing about Solana in 2017, 2018. when we're hyping it up. It was more or less like proof of history. It can do over 10,000 transactions in a second. Is this, is that, is that. But fast forward to 2025, Solana is seen as the home of meme coins. It used to be Binance Chain. Binance Chain used to be where if you're looking for memes, you get memes. But now it's Solana, 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 Solana. So when it comes to Bitcoin too, it could be that Bitcoin is yet to get that niche that is looking for. And the niche that is looking for, it might eventually like get the niche. And then you see that there's this drive towards that ecosystem. And that's what Stacks is trying to do as they getting with the first mover advantage. Just like what Polygon did with Ethereum. Even though Arbitrum appears to have surpassed it in terms of innovation, but Polygon was the first innovative blockchain that said rather than building our own layer one blockchain, we would build a layer two blockchain, taking advantage of Ethereum as the main infrastructure and building what we call a layer two blockchain. Some people call it a side chain that focuses on either increased speed, more scalability. It could be in terms of security. So that was what Polygon did. And a lot of blockchains have copied something similar than that. So we are no longer saying many blockchains looking to be Ethereum because when in 2018, 2019, most of the coins then were Ethereum killers. Solana was even tagged as an Ethereum killer. We had coins like Zilliqa, we had coins like EOS. EOS still holds the record of the highest ICO. EOS raised 4 billion in its ICO. And even though it's in around the top 100 tokens, we are not hearing much about EOS, right? Because many of them were like focused on overthrowing Ethereum, and only a few have been able to achieve it. Another ecosystem that I loved then was Polkadot, which wanted to do and like parachains where you have internet of blockchains, but it has not really been able to achieve that market popularity like what Solana has done, Polygon has done, Arbitrum has done within this short period of time. And even Aptos came with similar mindset. So the crypto space keeps on evolving in that way. Now we are going to look at some of the market sentiments that people are talking about on X. Today I was just checking X and I saw the Bitcoin all-time high. I checked some of the top guys in the space, Justin Sun, the flamboyant co-founder or founder of Tron. He said, do more with your Bitcoin. So that's very, very like, it's more or less like a charge to his followers that we should do more with our Bitcoin. I know many people are staking their Bitcoin, many people are spending their Bitcoin, many people are holding their Bitcoin. So there is a lot of things that I know people are already doing with their Bitcoins. So doing more with your Bitcoin is just more or less like, okay, that's fine. We also have CZ saying, feel sorry for those who sold at 77K. Remember to look at a yearly chart instead of a 1 minute chart once in a while. That's true. Because when you look at the yearly chart of Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin was oscillating at the right direction. But as traders, you don't blame us. Especially those people that are just new into the crypto space, they don't really have that patience to be holding coins. I currently have a coin that I've been holding since 2017. So many people don't have that patience because when you bought at the top or when you bought very close to the top, for those that bought Bitcoin at maybe 90K and they saw Bitcoin dump to 74 or 77,000, you don't blame them panic selling, but now they would be having that fear of missing out now that they sold too early. So the crypto space, and that's part of the reasons why one of the ecosystem that I see, which I don't really partake too much in, even though I do it once in a while, is the Gen. The Gen like has brought this kind of mindset of making quick gains and burning out. But the truth is that the people that benefit the most in the crypto space long term, apart from those that get lucky, are those that are able to hold and believe in coins. A friend of mine 2 years ago bought a coin called Trias. And he told me at that time Trias was at $2 when he bought Trias. He kept on accumulating Trias every month. And he told me about the coin, but I was like, I need to go and I said I would buy it, but I sort of forgot due to other things that I do. This guy ended up selling Trias. He was able to accumulate Trias up to 8,000 Trias. Obviously he was doing a decent job, but he kept on doing dollar cost averaging, buying every month. When he sold Trials by the end of the year, Trials had gone to $10 from $2. And I think he sold about 6,000 of his Trials at that time. And he carted away with $60,000 without any stress by just holding long term. I'm sure his gain would have been very, very like it would have definitely made a considerable gain from from holding the token. And that was his approach. His approach wasn't him doing the gen. He doesn't even really have time for trading per se. So he just used the approach, the holding approach, where he was like, okay, he's going to hold and hope for the best, because he kept on saying that he has done research about the project. The project has good fundamentals. The project is this. The project is that. And I was not surprised that he was able to like make that kind of gain with trials. So going to Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategy, that company that you see every time is always buying bitcoins every 2 minutes. But he also said no one has ever lost money buying Bitcoin, which is true, because when a token hits all-time high, you would you can say that is both true and not really true, because him saying no one has ever lost money buying Bitcoin, lots of people have lost money buying Bitcoin, but what he's trying to say is that Bitcoin has hit its all-time high. So if you had bought Bitcoin at any time in its life cycle and you are selling today, you have never made a loss, which is true, which is technically true. But when a token keeps on hitting new heights, that means people that are holding the tokens for a long time have basically never made losses. If you look at it from that angle. But when you look at it from the real angle, you know that what he's saying is just like he's just saying his own. He's not really true. But that's Michael Saylor for you. Another person that's one of the sentiments that you can see with regards the pizza celebration and with regards the X sentiment. And another sentiment that you can also see is in terms of like the predictions of Bitcoin. These predictions looked wild a month ago, but now the predictions are no longer looking wild. We had companies like Standard Chartered saying that Bitcoin will hit 200K by the end of the year. We had H&C Wainwright saying Bitcoin will hit 225,000. We had Sina saying that Bitcoin is going to hit 235K and 285K. So one of the things that Standard Chartered said was that due to the micro hedging of Bitcoin, that you might see Bitcoin hitting that level. And when you think of it, it's partly true, because when institutional flows continues to enter into Bitcoin, we are likely to see Bitcoin hitting like levels that we've not seen it hit before. That one is that one is actually true when you think about it. But the institutional flows are still coming. We've been seeing like more institutions are buying Bitcoin, and it's not surprising that we are seeing that Bitcoin is pumping. According to H&C Wainwright, which is also an investment company, they said that Bitcoin is likely to hit 225,000, and they mentioned halving circle plus regulatory clarity. We are seeing a bit of regulatory clarity about Bitcoin um in recent months. Lot of like people we are seeing people saying that the regulation is showing in Bitcoin. There are a lot of regulatory clarity. We see many countries putting out laws about Bitcoin, even countries that were formerly like harsh towards Bitcoin, like Nigeria, has new digital assets laws that sort of like puts or paves the way for regulating these coins. So we've seen some of those moves actually happen. And and it's and it's going to be interesting seeing the the extra moves that we might get in the ecosystem in the coming months. And Sina says that one of the things that they see that could happen is that they are they use quantum modeling, which is a form of analysis to predict that Bitcoin could hit 200 and 135,000 to 285,000. And if you look at their prediction doesn't look far off, because the current price of Bitcoin is about is about 110,000. And when you look at 110,000, it's not it's not far off from 135,000. So I will not be surprised if Bitcoin actually hits 135,000 in the coming days, because it's it's possible. We've seen when the market spikes, because for Bitcoin to hit 135,000, Bitcoin just only Bitcoin needs to just pump by about 25%, and Bitcoin has done 25%, this same amount in the last 20 in the last 1 month. So in a month's time, I could be doing this video again saying that Bitcoin has already hit 135,000. So I'm not really saying that that's not going to happen, because it's really really possible for us to see that the price of Bitcoin hits the kind of levels that we are thinking that it could hit. When you when you think about it, the price of Bitcoin has that potential, because if Bitcoin could do 21% in 1 month, then there's nothing stopping Bitcoin from hitting another major milestone within this period of time, because it's not it's not really like impossible for the prediction of Sinner to come true. And then we have BlackRock. We have heard a lot of things about BlackRock, depending on what you believe. Some people say they own the world. Some people say they don't own the world. But that's on the lighter notes. And when you think of BlackRock, BlackRock says that they expect that Bitcoin could hit 700,000. This actually sounds like quite extreme to me. But according to them, they said that their thesis for this is that if you have 2 to 5% institutional allocation, then this is possible. Obviously, if institutions continue to adopt it, let's say the top dogs like Apple, um, we have people like Microsoft adopting it, Twitter, I think Twitter adopted it one time. Like we see more people like putting it in their balance sheets, then I will not be surprised if something like that actually happens, where we see more people like buying Bitcoin, adopting Bitcoin, and we see the price of Bitcoin hitting crazy levels. We also have Fund Strats by Tom Lee, who says that it could hit $250,000, talking about liquidity boom. Liquidity boom is when you have a lot of people buying Bitcoins. And Bitcoin is built to be scarce. That's why it has a hard cap of 21 million tokens that would ever be issued. So that is makes Bitcoin an inflationary token, where if people keep on buying, there's going to be demand, and demand is going to lead to high price. So that's one of the things that Bitcoin has in its build. Anthony Pompliano, a popular analyst, says that we might see $250,000 due to demand shock. Demand shock is just basically him saying that there could be increased demand for Bitcoin, and that we could see that more people could actually like buy Bitcoin due to this increased demand. And that's also like partly true. If we see increased demand for Bitcoin, it's possible that that we could see like people jumping into the Bitcoin train. We're able to see more development in that angle, where you see that there's institutional adoption, there is more retail adoption, because some people always think that retail adoption does not really matter, but adoption is still quite huge, because still less than 10% of the world hold Bitcoin. So imagine that we have the kind of adoption that the US dollar has for Bitcoin. That's going to be really, really crazy when you think about it. Because if we have that kind of adoption, then we are seeing you are going to see impressive, like very, very super impressive turnouts. And there's going to be a lot of people holding the token. Like you're going to get a lot of people like holding the token. And when you have a lot of people holding then the entire ecosystem is going to be like impressive. A lot of people are going to say that they want to buy token. We have Chamat also, the billionaire, saying that Bitcoin could hit 500K. His thought process is that Bitcoin hitting 500K can come from monetary escape valve. While we have Vanek, the institution, saying that Bitcoin could hit 180K with 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 a retrace. So what he's saying is that there is institutional roadmap could lead to that. 10x research is saying 122,000. This is likely to happen, saying that we might see technical rally, which is exactly what we are seeing now, with the market rallying to the developments in the US, and GFO X survey is saying 150K. So that's a very, very, like, when you actually think about it, that's something huge for the crypto space. And those are like some of the predictions that we've had which regards crypto, um with regards Bitcoin, and looking at what is happening in the Bitcoin market. It's something that we can actually like expect. And obviously I'm going to like continue eating my pizza. I think I need a bit of break to eat my pizza, um and talk about a bit of Bitcoin. I can see some people asking questions with regards like what what should we be expecting in the market soon. I believe one of the things that we might see in the market with regards the crypto ecosystem is that there might be a move from institutions towards like greater adoption. And when we see greater adoption, we're talking about there might be more switch towards like people saying that more institutions might be looking towards like buying. And and if that sort of happens, we are going to see the price of Bitcoin hit some milestones that we never thought was possible. Because that's another thing that is quite important to also note when you're thinking about the price of Bitcoin. Because when we're able to see those kind of adoptions, then it's easier for us to like understand what is happening in the market. And Bitcoin continues to like show that it's the leader, and obviously it's the cryptocurrency that everyone wants to hold, despite the fact that we have over 10,000 coins in the market. But Bitcoin continues to dominate the market. And it's very, very impressive that we can reach a level where we are looking at 150,000. I never really thought that 150,000 for Bitcoin was possible, but it appears like that is the levels that we are going. Because if you look at the charts that is scrolling here, the prices, you can see that Bitcoin is about 111,000, and compared to the remaining coins that are there, it's showing the highest like spike, say 111,836, which is quite impressive when you think about it. So so that's it for today's web3 pulse with the crypto evangelist. It's been nice having this call, like celebrating Bitcoin. And I think Laszlo, anywhere you are, thank you for spending $10,000 on Bitcoin. I'm sure, even though you say you don't, even though you say you don't regret it, I can really bet my money that Laszlo regrets spending that money on Bitcoin. And I really hope it's something that he'll definitely be able to get over, because obviously I know that in the crypto space people tend to like do a lot of things. This is the picture of him, and think that should be children enjoying the pizza, and I myself am also enjoying my pizza here. So until next time, let's have a blessed day. Let's have a very, very good day, and we'll have our next live tomorrow where we talk about some of the developments in the crypto ecosystem. And as always, cheers.